would have been treated legally the way President Trump would be, El Chapo would be out right now hanging. El Chapo would be free as a bird. The ACLU or every lawyer in this country would have been screaming that you violated his due process.
Right.
And they would have, thrown out the whole case against El Chapo.
We illegally extradited him from Mexico.
Yeah. Imagine El Chapo's defense team not being able to call witnesses, not even nothing.
Yeah.
No access to, what the prosecutors have.
Yeah,
nothing.
It goes from being a trial to a sentencing. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why if you want to go back, to President Trump's Twitter.
Sure. By the way, before we jump to that, hold the thought, because I don't want to let this do too far away. Here's a quick shot of the Mall of America.
Yeah, this is the Mall of America.
Minnesota.
Okay.
In Minnesota.
Now, this is right. Like I said, I'm all for controlled immigration. Let a few people in. They get assimilated. Make sure they. But now you just changed everything.
It's the Mall of America.
You surrendered your.
The irony of it being called that.
Now,
though.
you know what's funny?
Guys, this is Minnesota.
I don't mind this. They're not committing. Look, they're not causing any ruckus crime.
It's not that these
but
are bad
why,
people.
why don't they show the gangs there that are committing the Mall of America?
No,
there's been stabbing, shooting.
It's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But most of these aren't bad people.
If this was all like this.
Yeah. It's just not very diverse.
No, it's not diverse. In other words, yeah, but the left's
not
real
diverse.
meaning of diversity is to wipe out whites. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because again, folks, look here.
But it's not even just not
how,
white.
How
it's
many
all
white?
Somali. It's
Yeah.
not like there's Latinos here. It's
No,
all
there's no
Somalis.
there's no Latinos, no Asians.
It's
I
not
don't see
even
any
the
Asian.
African Americans.
You see any
just
Asian?
Somalis.
No African Americans.
Exactly.
No.
And I get it. I know Minnesota's got a higher concentration, but my lord.
No, but they sent thousands there on
My
purpose to change the
lord.
demographic.
And this isn't like a weird edit. This is the Mall of America. This isn't like
Now again,
this isn't like
I
in
don't
a
see any
festival.
crime. That's fine.
No, it's families.
I would
you
like
know?
diversity to see a little more of everybody: African Americans, Latino, and white.
No, but like you
and
said,
Asian.
when they bring all the people to one area, they're all going to vote the way they would.
Now,
have
are there any
somewhere
videos?
else.
Now that you're on this, check any video of any violence going on there, because
Mall of America
yeah,
violence.
you hear
Let's
about
see.
all the stabbing and shooting going on, gangs.
Let's see. Hang on.
Okay, you go from that peaceful scene, which again, see our neighborhood here in Astoria and Queens, we had natural diversity. People moved in on their own. They worked hard.
Well,
because of
Queens
rents.
is the most diverse area in the entire world.
Yeah, but it wasn't forced. And you know what? It's
Right.
good. You have diversity here.
Let's see. There was an attack. Oh, that was the attack with the.
Well, they threw that kid off.
That was more
that
like
freaking
a terrorist
that
type of
terrorist
thing.
threw
Yeah,
that little kid
that
off.
doesn't count as like regular. Let's see. What was it? You say the stabbing?
See, this is YouTube though. They might
YouTube.
remove-
Oh, here it is. Minnesota
stabbing
mall
spree.
stabbing spree. Here, let's see.
Yeah, you know what?
I'll get the sound on here.
Do these look like white supremacists to you? I don't know. I don't see any white. That's another lie. I never met a white supremacist in my life. Okay. They
Watch as the
don't.
nightmare
I don't know.
unfolds.
Okay, that's
Here
on.
are Don arriving at this Minnesota mall, knives in hand, seen here stabbing
No,
this.
was that
guy
woman.
a robbery?
security guard?
Today, police
No, he's a
releasing
worker.
Chilling surveillance tape, which
Well,
they
that guy
say
looks like
portrays a
security
suspected
guard.
Islamic radical attempting mass
Oh,
murder.
but the security guard came
Don's
in this.
behavior and the actions suggest he may have been radicalized either with
No,
the
he
influence
is
of
the
others
radical.
or on his own.
The
Oh, the
guard.
security guard.
Yeah.
He said, "Are you a Muslim?
See, I can't really hear folks as
As
I don't
store
have my
owners
thing
scrambled,
on.
pulling
He was
out their
asking people, "Are you
security
Muslim?
gates."
Are you Muslim?"
Don
Oh,
used two
that
steak
was a
knives to
security
stab
guard?
10
Yeah.
people
Wow.
Before being shot by off-duty officer Jason Falconer. Look closely. You can just make out a Don there in dark clothing, running through Macy's. That officer in hot pursuit with gun drawn. Then the confrontation. The officer shoots Adon after being threatened. In another scene, Adon gets back up. He's shot again. Then once more he struggles to his feet before the fatal shot. The FBI is still investigating Adon, but authorities say they've run into a major roadblock. They can't get into his iPhone.
But yeah,
They
America.
can't get into his iPhone.
Explode into the same
No,
kind of legal
yeah, oh
confrontation
yeah.
we saw between
But they
Apple
want
and law
to.
enforcement
But they
in
open
the
up
San Bernardino.
the iPhone for everybody else though, for Americans though.
Well, it would be.
Now, what else?
It would be bigoted to get
No.
into his iPhone. Only bigots would go into his iPhone.
Yeah, that's another thing that has to change. The guy's a criminal. Look at what he's a terrorist. He has no rights.
He was just spreading the
No
peace.
rights.
He was spreading the knife of peace.
Okay,
That was what it was.
This is the way I always see life. I don't care what color or race you are. If you're a good person, God bless you, and you should always be protected. But if you're a low life, no matter what race or color you are, you should be prosecuted and punished for that. To any extent.
Well, it was a stabbing of peace, as
So
they say in
again, but you
Britain.
have groups over there that go around cause trouble. Okay?
It's crazy, yeah.
So
Well, it's like in England, for instance, to that point you're making there. In England, there was interviews, I think you've said this before, how they say that the British-born gangsters and gangbangers have said that they've had to up their level of violence to match all like the Cameroonian and Ghanaian guys that have come in. Those bangers from Africa are just chopping people up, chopping them
dude,
up.
they come from places where they do that.
Exactly, where that's just
Now
a Tuesday
again,
afternoon.
you have
know?
good people that come from there, but why allow the criminal element? See, that's
Right.
that's what bothers me. The left, they don't stick up because think about it. The good people from all races, they're victim to the bad people of all races. In other words, if you have bad people from a certain area, they're gonna attack their own race too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
They're just bad
it's not
people.
a white or a black thing or a Latino. It's just or Muslim. It's just you have violence from bad people are bad no matter what color they are.
Right.
But the left protect them. So
They're so selective in their application of their, everything.
yeah. So now, if you want, go back to President Trump's.
What, Twitter?
Yeah, just because I love his tweets. He's funny. He's a lad. He's yeah. Was it probably an hour ago? Go back a little bit now.
What are we looking for, roughly?
A little up, a little more. The one with the clown show, man. Oh, right there. Look at President Trump. A couple hours ago, what he tweeted. Look at it. You all see it, folks. The circus is coming to town. The corrupt, compromised, coward, and congenital liar.
He likes the alliteration. He loves it.
I love this guy, man. His shift show on Capitol Hill, brought to you by his raging, psychotic Democrats and the top allies in the media mob. Everything you're going to see in the next 2 weeks is rigged. Exactly. Click on that because that's probably part of it. It is a thread.
I feel like someone told him what alliteration was, and he just went OD on it for a second there.
Though,
What do you want to do?
he
Show the
ripped
thread?
them, bro. That tweet right there just rips
What are
them.
you saying? Show the thread?
Yeah, show the thread, yeah. Everything in 2 weeks is rigged. This is a phony show trial. There is zero due process, is what I was saying. See, I didn't even read this tweet. I didn't catch
No,
up.
right.
to
This is continued.
It is yet another fraudulent hoax, conspiracy theory. It's another witch hunt. This is what the Socialist Democrats Party has become. There's not one thing the Democrats have done in the past 3 years except try to hurt Donald Trump and we, the people that support him. The left has never accepted the results of the 2016 election. They never saw this coming. This is not just about President Trump. They hate everyone he is representing. Exactly.
Oh, that's very true.
And that was Sean Hannity.
I didn't know that was a quote. Yeah.
Now, that's great. Wait a minute. That's a reply. Yeah, conservative lady's great, by the way. She's always on there supporting our president. Look at what she wrote. She wrote it. Look, short tweet, right to the point. They are demented, evil, sick, useless, and they are criminals, folks. What they are doing to President Trump is a seditious conspiracy. It's a coup.
It's just no
treasonous.
guns. It is a coup, just no guns. Yeah.
Well, you know what? President
crazy.
Trump has the army and military and all them on his side, and they have the guns. So what's up?
Exactly.
So what's up?
What are they gonna do?
All President Trump has to do is say the orders. Because again, first of all, folks, you know what the left has tried to do? Not distort reality, wipe out reality. Did you all see the tweet from the whistleblower's lawyer, that guy Mark Zaid, that said the coup has begun? Did you see that tweet a few days ago?
Someone told me about
the guy
it.
tweeted, the whole world sees
You
the coup
think-
has begun in 2017.
It's like, what a
bro.
conflict of interest, idiot. You're a lawyer,
Dude, right there, he
You're
should
a
have.
lawyer?
Why weren't feds at his freaking door at 5 a.m. locking him up? He admitted, dude, you can't threaten the president.
Yeah.
That's a threat to that's the worst threat to a president. And then the whistleblower, that little freaking nerd whistleblower, the punk,
Eric
little
Ciarmella.
pencil neck geek, Eric Ciarmella, whatever his name, a piece of garbage.
I wonder if
Meanwhile,
it's Italian, like Ciamarella,
Yeah,
or if it's
I'm
like
telling you.
Ciamarella.
I think it is spelled Italian. Yeah, he's an Italian.
We
as
don't
I'm-
claim him. We don't take
Yeah,
him.
he's like I always say. There's good and bad in
My
every
Italian
race.
half is
There's good and bad in every race. That's
yeah.
why I always tell people, I just hate leftists. I don't care what race, what religion. You're a leftist. You're crap.
Why can't we trade them for the Hong Kong protesters?
Dude,
Can
you know what?
Can
No,
we make a
excuse me.
trade? Get Trump to call up the
Yeah.
the GM of
Yep.
Canada or of China.
Yep. Oh, Mike Mikovich. What's going on, Mikey? How you doing? Mike's on here, by the way, on YouTube. XY Ghost. I don't know if you're still there.
No,
XY.
he was watching us. He said he couldn't share on Facebook because he's banned right now. The bastards.
Oh,
They-
yeah, because he says, and meanwhile, XY never says nothing bad. He just says the truth.
They ban him every 2
Wow,
weeks.
yeah,
It's insane.
for the truth. He never says nothing wrong, nothing mean, racist, nothing like that. He's actually kind of a classic liberal who's become a big Trump supporter because he sees how the left is. You know what I mean?
He's just unapologetically a dude,
Yeah.
and that's not okay in 2019. I mean, it seems to be,
So, folks, again, this is a coup. I hope President Trump does what he has to do against it. We have his back. Again, if you want to tag him so he knows, because I really wish I could. If I could just speak to him for 10 minutes.
You know what you did? You know what you did? You know what you might have seen? If you didn't, you get a kick out of this. Look it up later. And if you guys out there listening haven't seen this, Google this video. It's really funny. Someone finally put it to Trump and made him say, they're like, well, you talk a lot about the word treason and these people being traitors. He goes, it's known that the penalty for treason is death. So who are some of the people that you really feel are being truly treasonous if you're going to use that word? So they were really trying to say, like, stop and think for a second. Don't just throw the word around. Who do you think should be killed? You know what I mean?
Well,
and he gave Strzok and Lisa Page and Comey and McCabe, and then he named names of people he thought should be put up for treason.
That was a while ago, the video. That's from a while
I thought it was like
ago.
2 weeks ago or something like that.
A few weeks ago,
yeah. It was like, I only saw like 4 or 5 days ago, and it was like,
Folks,
wow.
listen.
They got him to say it. He just said it.
I would expect, listen, unlike the Democrats, I would expect due process against all these traitors.
Of course.
Let them put their trials on TV. And personally,
And their hangings.
you know what I would love to do? You know what would be great? Send them to the countries that they want us to get flooded from. Just take away everything they have. Sue the shit out of them for everything. You know what, President
Send
Trump?
him as a refugee
Let
to
me
Syria.
listen. We've taken. You know what we could do. You know how you have trade deficits. We've had a big trade deficit, which President Trump is working on with China.
Sure, yeah.
Why don't we have a big immigration deficit?
We do.
How many Americans go to other places and as immigrants?
Yeah,
Not many.
couple thousand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all these leftists, all these dirtbags, just ship them. Go on TV, rip up their citizenships. I don't care if you're born here or not. If you're a traitor, you're a traitor. You have a choice. You know what the punishment for treason is,
Right, or exile.
Or exile.
Right. That's fair. That's humane.
I want to see all these libtards saying, "Welcome in the refugee. Live in Somalia."
Yeah.
That's it.
As a refugee.
As a refugee.
As a refugee.
As a refugee.
Yeah.
Is there anything wrong with that? I'm being civil. See, I don't want to people to get killed or none. Just get them out of here.
Yeah.
Be very civil.
It's just the weirdest thing how, I get like, people will say, if you don't like it, just leave. And it's easy for people to rebut with, well, no, it's if you don't like something about where you are, it's on you to make the change you want to have happen. But it's like, guys, if your whole position is America is evil and imperial and we're horrible, get the
F
fuck
outta
out of
here.
here. What are you doing here? You could be so much happier elsewhere, right? Like, you know how they'll say,
No, seriously, you know what would be great? Someone's burning the flag on TV.
Yeah.
Lock them up. Just
Peace
deport
out.
them.
Yeah.
Your citizenship is gone. I don't care if you're white,
give 'em a
blue-eyed, and you're born here. You're out.
you give them a
You're
list
out.
of 20 countries that end in Stan and say, which one would you like to
Thank
have a ticket to? We'll give you a choice. If you have family in one of these, you can pick
And
that one.
you know what? I'll even be nice. Give them one meal for the plane ride there.
That's right, yeah.
Pay for the meal on the plane ride there. Let them have a little meal because it's the last thing of quality they're ever gonna eat.
We're not inhumane,
Yeah, I'm telling you, I like to be humane. I just don't want these people messing up our country, and I want them having no power and no say in our country.
Well, it's like, who you would like? You've probably seen his videos, but even if you don't know his name, everyone should YouTube search Vladimir Jaffe, Jaffe. He's the USSR guy who goes around, a former Soviet guy who has been here since he's like 30, and he goes around to all the rallies and stuff and gets communists on camera talking about why socialism's so great. And he's just like, I'm like, listen, I'm not an ideologue. I lived through this. I saw what happens. I
know a lot of people who
He's
live under
he's like, I
communism.
know people whose parents got murdered, whose brother got murdered for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not even for being a capitalist, just for
Seriously.
not fitting in with something.
No, because people lied about him.
And
Your
this
neighbor
guy-
might not have liked you. They tell them that you're anti-commie,
Exactly.
and they come and kill
just
you.
because you fought over
Yep.
something, right? Exactly.
Yep.
You fought over a dog taking a shit.
That-
and all of a sudden
that-
you're
that's
getting
how
killed.
communism works.
Exactly. And so he goes
And
to these
socialism,
people,
same
and you
shit.
guys should look at like these people are basically like America's the worst place ever in the history of the world. It's like, guys, there's countries you can go to like where they live like you want, right? And you can see what it's really like. But no,
Well,
they just they get wrapped
Mike
up in-
Mikovich commented Venezuela.
Yeah.
Go to Venezuela, have fun.
But meanwhile, they're eating McDonald's on an iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, come on,
okay.
guys.
And going to Starbucks in the morning.
Just accountability one time for
Going to
just one
Starbucks,
time.
getting their little lattes in the morning. So that's the bottom line. You don't like this country, and I'll say it to anybody. Get out. It's very, very simple.
Plain and simple.
But they should have no power to destroy our country. Because it's not a joke, folks. These people's policies, again, we have proof. Detroit, San Fran, Venezuela, same crap. You know what I'm saying? Look at what they've done. Look at Baltimore. I mean, come on, everywhere they touch. And in Virginia, again, that's sad what happened there. You had patriots there, and then, you know.
Yeah, I can't picture in my head, like, I mean, I'm only 34, but I've never in my lifetime grown up thought of, like, Virginia connotatively as a Democrat state. As like that's like a guns and Confederacy.
You know what happened though? Because
the Confederate capital was in Virginia.
Thank you.
It was in Virginia.
Now,
oh my God.
You know what? It's also a combo. You know who live in Virginia, right?
I mean,
the swamp creatures and their families.
Oh, many of them. Yes. Yeah. Just outside of D.C.
Oh.
Yeah.
And President Trump threatens their existence because their business with China, their business. Folks, another thing, if properly investigated, and I'm serious, think about how many people have sold us out to China here. That's treason. You know, they've betrayed our country to a communist country. That's also treason. So never mind what the coup they're doing to President Trump is. Their business loyalties to China. Think about this, folks. When NAFTA came out, that was the North American Free Trade Agreement. That was with Mexico and Canada. And so many factories closed here. And then after that, when Clinton sold us out to China with the World Trade thing, a lot of factories closed. We all know this. All those places opened up in China. And so many good Americans lost their jobs and couldn't provide for their families anymore. And the areas became ghost towns. So President Trump is trying to reverse all of that. And again, 6 million new jobs, great on unemployment numbers. And you know what? I was talking to somebody before. There's this guy in the neighborhood. Once in a while, I see him, an acquaintance, nothing crazy. Lifelong Democrat. But at least he listens to what I have to say. And I was talking to him before, and I've changed him to pretty much. He likes President Trump. He's not a loyal supporter like us, but he says his policies are working, which is great to see that coming from a Democrat. And what's it called? And we were talking about, folks. I'm sorry. It came up because I looked at my phone, and it had a thing from Breitbart about how British steel was sold to a Chinese communist group.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, like the company.
It's a company that has ties with. They're part of that. That's how the communists work. They make money, but their people suffer. So it was a group linked to the Chinese Communist Party.
Oh, right. I'm sure it's
indirect. Bought British steel. They sold their steel. So now 1/3 of the steel industry just got sold off to China.
That's like us selling our ports to the
Excuse
Middle
me?
East. Yeah.
We had our steel being made in China before President Trump.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay? Yeah. Our steel industry. Now, folks, this is why President Trump is so brilliant and he's a patriot. Remember, he was stressing for a long time, wait a minute. Our steel industry here is almost dead, and our aluminum. We need that for our national defense. If we rely only on China, if China is going to take over, what if we go to war with China? What, are they going to sell us steel? What are they going to say?
That's a good point.
Seriously, he's brilliant. That's why not many people doubt President Trump to my face or anything. Everybody I'm close with loves President Trump, and I'm proud of that. All you folks, you're patriots, all my friends, I love you. You're great, you're smart. But I'm saying, I meet a lot of people, I always talk. And, whenever they've done it, I said, do you even know about the steel? And they're like, huh? And I'm like, our steel industry was almost dead here. And aluminum. I go, if the Chinese ever attacked us and we have no steel, how are we going to fight them?
What do we make a plane out of?
Well, we're going to have bullets. What's that called? Rockets,
everything.
Tanks.
Yeah.
You need steel.
Yeah, big time.
So, what's it called? I said, we're going to ask them to buy steel to attack them? No.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And that's how they're trying to take over the world. And in other words, if they have the monopoly on steel, have fun making weapons and fight them. President Trump knows all that. He's the man. That's why I love this guy. He's brilliant.
He's not even like intellectual. He's just common sense smart.
Yes, he is.
No, I just mean he's common sense smart.
Yeah.
Like he just sees through. Like, I wouldn't ask him to discuss Chaucer, but like he sees through the bullshit and just gets right down to the brass tacks. And he really,
listen, though,
he knows
again,
how to
folks,
see the real.
What
moves.
president in our lifetime has had the economic success of President Trump? None. Now, again, I loved President Reagan. That's why I got into politics. I loved watching him talk. I was a kid. When he first got elected, I was 6. So, but I still loved him, and that's what got me into politics. So, and you know what? President Reagan didn't have the money that President Trump has to do what he wanted to do. Because you know why? I'm going to say all this. I remember seeing a few years ago on the History Channel, they had Secret Societies of America. I'm like, oh, sounds interesting. And they had an interview with President Reagan, which I had never seen. No one I know has ever seen. And they asked President Reagan, before he chose his vice president, they said, do you want to choose George Bush as your vice president? Right away, President Reagan, you see him in the video, he said no. He goes, why not? He goes, I don't want members of secret societies in my administration.
Exactly, because then they're beholden to someone bigger than them.
Skulls and bones.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's like, okay. And all of a sudden, he chose George Bush because he was forced that. Because George Bush was the king of the deep state. I think Bush Sr. created the deep state, or one of the creators.
Well, he was always one of the ones pushing the New World Order rhetoric.
The actual
term,
he actually
New World
said it.
Order, right?
Yeah.
Like many times.
Yeah.
1,000 points of light,
So,
New World Order.
Plus, he was the man. Didn't he create the CIA? Even I think was it? Or
No,
he was one
no,
of the.
no.
He was one of the big shots.
I believe
though.
he was a big shot in it.
Okay, but
maybe,
anyway.
yeah.
So all of a sudden, because they forced him, he couldn't fight that. So President Reagan did all he could. But then, even if you remember during the Reagan years, you had the Iran-Contra affair. Mm-hmm. You think that was President Reagan that was in on that? That was Bush. They blamed Oliver North.
Yeah.
But that was all Bush. All the contradistas in South America supporting these governments, that was Bush. They were doing coke deals with that.
Oh, yeah, it's all that clandestine
bad,
shit, yeah.
Bad. So, and guess what? Oh, didn't President Reagan get shot? Oh, he did. You think that was just, you really think with the Secret Service and all that protection, after what happened with Kennedy back in the day, you think it's that easy to get to a president and shoot him? No. That was inside. Bush was doing that. They wanted to get rid of Reagan. Bush would have been president. Guess what? God was there and President Reagan survived.
That's like a lot of people who think that Johnson did Kennedy because he was the one to get stepped up. You know, he was a VP at the time.
But also, I think Bush was involved with the Kennedy thing, too, because he was there. You ever researched that one?
No, that's a whole episode for its own self.
Yeah.
We should do a special one
yeah,
day.
Yeah. That was,
Do like a theme episode.
Bush was in the CIA back then.
Yeah.
And they said that, on record, he said that he was in another part of Texas that day. Mm-hmm. People that took pictures around, a lot of people had cameras.
They didn't have digital photos back then.
No, but they had cameras.
No, exactly
and
right.
people took pictures
That's what I mean.
of a guy standing right by the scene like this, looking around shady, right after the shooting of President Kennedy. And that looked...
It's like a little too calm.
And that was George Bush.
A little too calm.
And that was why did he say he was in another part of Texas then?
Right, yeah. And plus, why wouldn't he be freaking out a little bit,
And guess what?
Yeah.
People also took pictures of some guys. And this is pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that were being led away by the police then into a car. And even the person that took the picture said, I thought those were the people they had arrested for shooting President Kennedy. Right. People analyzed those pictures. Those were CIA assassins.
Okay. Because I know that whenever there's a big thing like that, like a tragedy outside in public, the authorities always look on video to see who doesn't run and panic, because that's the person.
Well, there wasn't
who
video
knew.
cameras.
No, right. But like, think of like the Boston bombings.
There was
right?
actually
They'll
the
look
projector.
right, but I'm saying, like, let's say when Boston happened, right? They'll look for, okay, the thing that happens, boom. 2 seconds later, who's not running, who's not ducking, who's not hiding, who's the one standing there like it's a Wednesday afternoon. You know what I mean? Those are the guys who
Mikey
did it.
Mikovic agrees. Bush had Reagan shot. Joe Arquera. Hey, Joe, what's going on, man? Bush Sr. did indeed arrange for both Reagan and Kennedy to be shot. Sure.
Yeah. He's like, hey, nothing personal, guys. I got to run the world here.
Yeah. Now
I'm trying to run the world here, guys.
I was thinking with President Reagan, that might have been a warning shot, maybe because maybe he was going against Bush, saying, "No, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that," and but that bullet was too close to be a warning shot. That was it wasn't like a shoulder shot.
You know, people talk about, they say Cheney was the first really powerful vice president. It's like, people forget George Bush was the vice president.
No way.
People forget George Bush was
well,
the
Cheney's
VP.
another piece of garbage. But Bush Sr. was way ahead. Bush Sr. was his superior.
He was the OG.
He's the OG.
Yeah.
So
the OG unseen hand.
That's why another thing, folks, people should have parades for President Trump. First of all, they're saying Hillary's going to run. Hey, remember Benghazi Hillary?
Let her run.
Shut
That's
up.
a great one.
But anyway, I remember, I'll never forget, after the last election with Obama, when he won the second term. I remember the media was already saying, probably next ticket is going to be Jeb Bush against Hillary. I'm like, oh, man, come on.
Womp, womp.
I'm like, oh, man. I was like, no matter what, we're fucked. And then all of a sudden, thank God, President Trump. But now that was a few years later, obviously. But And he saved everything. Hopefully,
What a
he could
fun
just-
story it's going to be like 15 years from now.
I hope, man.
You're gonna
Listen,
be like,
all,
oh my
all
God,
I'm
you guys should
saying,
have been there.
I know. Even a couple of weeks ago, you heard about that horse named Kofifi that won all those horse races? Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, a racehorse named Kofifi. Amazing horse. And one of the fake news outlets had tweeted and said, "Oh, look, there's a horse named after President Trump's mistweet."
And
Right?
he was,
Calling
and he was
Kofifi
like,
a
yeah.
mistweet.
Uh-huh.
Did you see the quote that President Trump
I
did?
did, yeah.
He quoted that. He goes, maybe it wasn't a mistweet.
Right.
Maybe it had a deeper meaning.
Yeah.
Which means in the end, we will win.
Well, the funny thing is,
That's
either
what
it
keeps my
does-
hope alive.
Well, the thing is, it's beautiful either way because either it has a deeper meaning, or, in my opinion, it doesn't. But he's fucking with them so so nicely.
But I hope it really was a deeper meaning,
maybe it
which
is. That'd
means
be
he's
great.
got everything on lock.
That'd be great either way.
Because don't forget,
I'm good with that one either way.
some people already wanted everything to end already, him to have these people arrested. And but you know what? New people are coming in. This is like a sting operation, I think. You got to let it go. Because who would have seen all these other, who would have heard of Eric Ciamarella if President Trump would have clamped the hammer down 6 months ago?
Right.
You wouldn't have heard of him. You wouldn't have known he was a traitor.
Right. You got to let them expose themselves
Thank
first.
you.
Yeah, let them,
Thank you.
Put their flags up.
That's what I think. And I hope I'm right. I pray to God I'm
Well, that's
right.
like some Sun Tzu type shit. Like let them all expose
Thank
themselves,
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping. But again, I just hope he knows. I just wish I could tell him. Millions will answer the call if he asks. That's all. So, folks, God bless all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to try to do this next Tuesday, keep it more constant. But, I'll throw a post out there, do a quick live thing here and there. I try my best. You know what I mean? So
I'm going to update the graphics and stuff for you guys. We'll get this freshened up a little bit here.
Joe and Mikey, have a great night. Everybody still out there? Anybody that's still there?
Yeah, thank you. SLR Florida, XY Ghost,
Well, I already
all you
thanked
guys.
them. Yeah, thanked them.
All you guys, we appreciate you. Anybody
Yep.
on Periscope, on Twitter, we do
So
love you.
we love all of you. You people are great. Mikey, good night, brother. Talk to you soon. Thank you all for tuning in as always. Let's keep supporting our president. All you in the red area, keep the dirtbag Democrat roaches out of your area. They're gonna stink it up. So keep your areas red no matter what you got to do by any means necessary. So have a great night, everybody. Let's keep supporting our president. And God bless all of you. I'll be seeing all of you soon. Have a great night, Patriots. MAGA CAG 2020.
Peace.